Hello, this is the Hating Haitian. How we doing today? Today I am fine. Okay, what do I want to hate on? I hate it when parents say that they shouldn't stay together for the sake of their children. This is what I think about that. I completely disagree. Why I disagree? Because a lot of times parents say that, well, I have to be happy too. But here's the thing, if you wanted to be happy, then you shouldn't have kids, period. Now there are exceptions. If your husband is physically, verbally abusive, then I understand. Then it's better to separate or divorce or whatever and not stay in that situation because you want to be a good example for your kids. But a lot of times what happens to people is that they separate or break the home because one person feel neglected, or they feel unhappy because the other spouse is not paying them enough attention. So they feel like maybe the grass is greener on the other side. But here's the thing. That's something you should have thought about before you started a family, before you had children. Because I'm a product of a broken home. My mother, and father did not stay together. Now, my mom granted, my mom and dad, they definitely shouldn't be together because my dad is an abusive guy. But given if my dad wasn't, I would not have been happy if he left my mother and went to my stepmother. So, he beat up both women, my mom and my stepmother. But my stepmother stayed with him. She stayed. Why? Well, let's just say she's one of those women that likes to get smacked around. Well, obviously you can see I don't like her. See, the thing about me is that I don't like weakness. I have my own weaknesses, but I don't like when women make choices that affect their kids in a negative way. Like, if you're gonna have kids with a man who's abusive and you stay with him, and your kids have to endure through that, and this whole idea about battered syndrome and all that nonsense, I don't make excuses for it. I think a lot of times people make excuses for what they want. Yes, because at the moment, the makeup sex and the flowers and the I'm sorry and the this and that, that is the reason people stay in domestic violence homes. But that wasn't what I was talking about. I was talking about healthy families who supposedly grow apart. But the thing about relationships is that no matter what relationship you enter into, there's gonna come a time where you drift apart. It happens. It happens because, sometimes you become bored with each other because things become too routine. So then you're too busy trying to look for happiness elsewhere. Your happiness should come from here. You should be happy within yourself. Even if your spouse is not paying attention to you because, for whatever reason, because he likes to play video games or he likes to watch sports, that is not a reason to break up your home. And that's the same goes for the guys. That's not a reason to break up your home just because your wife is not giving you booty all the time. It's not a reason for you to decide to go hook up with another female. Unless you can get both women together. I'm not talking about hooking up with each other, but I'm saying you can get them up into a polygamous marriage. If you can get that, kudos to you. But if you cannot get that, It is not fair to bring children into this world and they grow up knowing both parents being together and their world is fine, and then out of the blues you decide, well, I'm bored, I'm tired, and I'm not happy, I gotta go look for happiness elsewhere, without putting and thinking that, oh well, I shouldn't stay together just for the sake of my kids. Yes, you should because your kids didn't ask you to be born. Kids need stability. Okay? Every child reacts differently to a divorce or a broken home. Me personally, I hate my father. I absolutely do. Although my situation is different, but if he was a good guy and he did the same thing that he did, I would have absolutely hated him even more. And I would have been, a mess. I'm a little bit of a mess now, but I'm a mess now because he chose to be a abusive piece of crap. Yes. Anyway, so to all the women out there and fellas out there, if you have a home and it's not broken and you just find yourself drifting apart, suck it up. Okay, I'm being mean. I'm just playing. No. You not suck it up. Find a way to make it work. Where there's a will, there's a way. If you really love your children and not so much in love with yourself, coming to think about it, when you leave your children, it's because there's a part of yourself that you don't love. Because believe it or not, when you look at your kids are actually you. They are a part of you. And their personalities, some of the things they do is you. My son, when I look at him, I'm like, he does some things that pisses me off. And I realize, you know what? He's me. He's done things that I have done when I was his age. So marriage is a long-lasting commitment. Now, if you're just married and you don't have kids, that's something you can break away from. But the minute you have kids, you officially made it permanent. When you have kids with somebody, it's like you're married to them. Once you get pregnant or once you impregnate somebody, you make an unwritten commitment to be there. Yes, an unwritten commitment to be there. And it is ridiculous how so many kids are suffering. They're in broken homes. They're coming from broken homes because people don't know how to get their act together. Hello, folks. Get it together. Your kids suffer when you break up your home because you just want to go have a fling out there. For that 20 minutes of pleasure, you causing a whole lot of heartache. And stop being the cause of all this pain. Put yourself to the side for once. Put your temporary feelings to the side for once and do what's best for your children. I am somebody's child, and I wish my father had done what was best for me. I'm doing my best to get over everything. I'm doing my best to move on. And I have moved on a lot. And I have grown strong a lot. But I still have a little ways to go. Because from time to time, that little thing just crawl up behind me and just say, oh God, things happen in my mind that the hurt, it's like it starts all over again. So, as parents, if you're not going to make the sacrifice it takes to be there for those kids and do what's right, then don't have them. Period. Just don't have them. That's my 2 cents in that. We'll see you again. Well, I'll see you again. I just said we, like there's 2 of me. Anyway, I shall see you again. This is from The Hating Haitian. Love. Au revoir.